decks that are popular right now if it doesn't really get going early and keep that pressure on, because we've seen time and time again, especially with these starships, the ability to just go, oh, I'm kind of getting beaten up, starship, you know, double proc, summon a copy, reborn, whatever, and then suddenly the game's just completely flipped on its head, right? And I don't really think the Warlock's super capable of dealing with that.
It does have infinite freezes, so you get to the point where you sort of freeze, get a wheel down, bob. I'm not saying it's easy, but you do have infinite freezes with the Warlock, so it's possible. My concern would be... Well, not concern, but my interest is how ZLS's Warrior pans out in what we're going to see coming up. I think that's going to be the fascinating thing, because we don't get to see this Warrior very often.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if... I think ZLS is queuing the Warrior, and of course, I actually misspoke. I'm being very silly. I should have known because it's Phil, but I was thinking of Quest Warlock, and he's not playing Quest Warlock, is he?
I thought you were talking about
No,
shit.
yeah, that's my bad. He's played Starship Warlock, of course, so it's very different. So we've got a few, you know, these late games. That's when you said it, I was like, oh yeah, of course, it's Starship, isn't it? It's my bad. I've got too much Quest Warlock on the brain after the last few matches.
There is a lot of it, even.
Yeah. I've got too much Quest Warlock. But yeah, either way, it's going to be a pretty interesting rest of the match here. We do have, I think we've got ZLS going to be locking in that Warrior, which I'm with you. I'm kind of excited to see what the Warrior can do. And just, honestly, just how the Mech Warrior is going to perform by the end of the weekend. Because that's always how it's all good and well, you know, seeing one match here, one match there, one game here, one game there. But I always want to see, you know, these decks I'm sort of don't really know how well they're actually going to do in this format, actually perform once we've got, you know, maybe at least both groups done, right? And we can review it again on Sunday to see how the Mech Warrior's done, if there are any Mech Warriors in the top cut anyway, or how many of them are in there. I always think that's super interesting to check out. So we'll be obviously seeing that as the weekend progresses. And just while the players are getting ready, just a reminder, of course, this is still the last match of Group A. We still got the whole of Group B to go through as well, so there's plenty more Hearthstone, especially if you've just joined us. Don't worry about that. And then tomorrow it's going to be Group C and Group D. We're basically doing it all over again, but with those two groups to make our top 8 for Sunday. So still tons of Hearthstone across the weekend. But yeah, this is a lot on the line, this one, and we've seen already players' reactions. I think just on camera you can tell how important these matches are to them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is the most important series of Hearthstone this year so far. I guess the Spring Championships finals and semi-finals probably fit more, you know what I mean? For these players, yeah. And for ZLS in particular, like... He's dominated the Americas region, I want to say. Gamer RVG might have something to say about that. I'll talk about him more when we get to Group B. But ZLS has really been a dominant force in the Americas region. And the Americas region hasn't had that much success recently.
What time frame is recently, Lorinda?
Don't behave. Yeah. And I think ZLS has a chance to sort of break that mold to some extent. Yeah, there's been bad faces with a couple of others, but I think ZLS might be around for a long time if he starts getting a couple of tournament results together. I think he might just keep going and going. Yeah.
Well, we are now getting ready to go into game number 3. This is just a guess from me, but I assume one of them wanted a bathroom break or something, because even these first 2 games have been, you know, a reasonable amount of time. Jumping into it, of course, as I mentioned, the Mech Warrior from ZLS on the top, going up against the Death Knight for Phil here. And I know, you know, Mech Warrior is your favorite deck to play against. But
it is, yeah, absolutely.
What do you make of it against the Death Knight? Like, how much pressure is on the Warrior to try and get the game over?
So, I have never played that matchup, full disclosure. I've played a lot of the matchups in Hearthstone these days, but I haven't played that one. I imagine that the Warrior needs to do some chunky damage early. One of the problems with the dummy is the second your opponent starts putting health on the board, even if it's just like a row of, you know, 4/5s and stuff, suddenly the damage from the dummy gets less, it can't attack in so easily, and then 24 damage or 16 damage just becomes chip damage, and then things start going wrong. However,
here we go.
It's turn 3.
I was ready.
Because of course there is.
I was so ready for this. As soon as this was locked in, I was like, oh, Lorinda's gonna love this.
Turn 3 dummy. That's what the deck does. It's made to do this. It
It's
does
only
this.
for a time.
And there's no way to clear it.
Correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you can see a way to clear this, I'm very impressed.
I have looked for more ways to clear turn 3 dummy than anyone on the planet. If it's there, it's me. I've got it. But yeah.
Big question is, this could be dummy 2, right?
It could.
But does it, without the follow-up, or is the follow-up just the 5 drop next turn?
Yeah, the follow-up's difficult.
Or do you do that in the other order? Because it gives you then time to maybe get the, pull towards the ooze, for example, or something? Okay, yeah, I like this, actually. Because if there wasn't a way to clear that dummy, then there's not a way to clear Tortola, right? You would assume, let's say. And I think that's a pretty safe assumption from ZLS's side. So I actually like this ordering.
Yeah, just a reminder as well, there is a Crazed Alchemist in ZLS's deck that just ends at any time here.
It's just the first video I put up, I think.
You do have to be aware of that.
I like it as well because without, being, maybe going for the old cliche caster discussions, just the fact it's in the list means Philfield has to be afraid of it to an extent, right? Like, it's one of those things that even if you don't do it that often, right? You have to have a specific scenario for it to, work. It's just there to be a threat. But, like, it does mean Philfield can't say, oh, well, as long as I don't damage it too much, it's fine, right? Well, it's like, no, it's not fine, because you could just take 25.
Boom wrenching? Not so obvious now, actually. It was obvious for a minute there, but now it might just recommend deck him and do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few plays there as well. There was also just going for the other dummy and just say, well, you still couldn't clear them. Try and clear them again, right? But yeah, I think the weapon, I definitely don't want to use the word safe, but the weapon option, I think, covers the most bases, let's say.
Poison Breath is there, as long as the Alchemist doesn't appear. Yes, much damage here. How much damage is there? Oh my goodness.
It's a weird one, right? Because you don't do the over-equip, right?
I don't think you do. I think if you were going to do it, you'd have done it last turn. Yeah.
Oh, well, there wasn't enough mana last turn, right?
Oh, he spent the 2 first, so he could have just gone for 4 or 5 mana play, basically, which would have been pretty rubbish. But if you were going to do it, you'd do it there on
just because, like, you get the double death rattle, but you just don't swing for. You lose 2 damage on that anyway, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can just go for the draw first, see what other options are available or not.
He just really wants that Alchemist lead, though, I think. But there's so many choices here, in fact. The deck is pretty...
I like the shield block first. I think this still gives you plenty of options.
Sure.
Okay. I think maybe you just keep it simple. Don't overcommit. Gonna recommend deck him.
It's so much damage. I still have second dummy and baby wrench if needed.
This is a really nice middle ground between pressure and not overcommitting to the board, right? Like, still just these 2 minions, but you still locked in with tons of damage. If Philfield doesn't do something pretty impressive this turn, that's it, right?
Just it, yeah.
For want of a better phrase, that's it.
Only cards are excited anyway.
Only 4 corpses as well, so.
I haven't mentioned Rune Escape yet.
And if explosion happens, that buffs Tortola anyway, so.
Playing.
Yeah, can't corpse explode anyway because the dummy will just basically kill you. He doesn't know about the other dummy, of course. Which,
yeah, I've quite liked ZLS holding the Scrapper combo with the second dummy. Could have just thrown it down earlier and just gone max pressure. But I quite like holding this because it's just, there's no need to drop it down. It's still in the back pocket if required.
Mm-hmm. And he's just doing, you know, half some basics, spending all his mana after turn, which is the easy thing to say. That when it's actually you doing it, it's so much harder. But he is just spending his mana every turn.
Oh, are you serious? You're just gonna throw away your life?
Turn from Phil Field.
You see, he has lethal on board.
Yeah, he couldn't make a plan in time, so he roped it. Not because he, you know, ran out of options, but he just couldn't make the plan. There wasn't a plan to make.
Yep, Ziliak's gonna help clear off some of this. Slam to reduce the damage on board, and this is just fine.
That is lethal, right? Needs to do 6, he's going to do 8. Yeah. PP -2.
And there we go, and I think that was, you know, again, a bit of a, you know, we're really changing gears in this series so far, but I think that was a really good example of what we were talking about a little bit earlier in this match, right at the beginning, of Mech Warrior can sort of be that aggro deck, even though I guess that was probably a bit faster than average, unless you're playing, of course. But I think I think that was a good display of it can be very aggressive, but then you've got some of that late game as like game-ending tools as well. So yeah, that Mech Warrior really getting the job done, and suddenly ZLS is up 2-1. Just the Death Knight to try and get one win against Phil Field's Death Knight or Warlock. So ZLS still looking quite good, and Mech Warrior ticking the box, right? It did its job very well that game.
I think the reason I think it's been a really good bring is because of the amount of Druid. I think ZLS has predicted the amount of Druid. I think there's 6 Mech Warriors. That might be wrong. That's from memory from earlier.
I can count.
I think those people have predicted the amount of Druid that's going to be in the tournament, and I think the Mech Warrior goes so well against Druid.
It is 6.
Cool. So yeah, those 6 players are kind of my favourites for this tournament. Just narrowing it down. Pocket Train, and now I picked 6 more people, so that's 7. I'm doing well. I'll have half the field ticked by the end of the broadcast.
I can at least say my prediction has Mech Warrior. Chonsu's brought it, so that was actually a factor in me picking Chonsu. So like I said, I think Mech Warrior, and then some of the you look at the one Drunk Paladin, the Nebula Shaman, the one Hunter. Obviously, I'm interested to see how those decks do because they're like, the one-off sort of special decks. But the Mech Warrior is probably the one I'm most interested in to see what performance looks like by Sunday for sure. Because going into this, I wasn't sure exactly how it performed, but it just felt like
too much time doing vertical agility, too much healing.
There was a little clue.
Having perfect fitness, gonna lose.
In playoffs,
I was gonna lose weight. Or try my best to lose all the weight in real life. And so far, I've lost 6 kilos.
A couple of other
1 pound.
And he just made top 8, just turning it. And suddenly you think back and go, actually, maybe that's just the lineup then.
Yeah, maybe the deck's just good, right?
Yeah.
But we are going to get into what could be the last game of Group A. Phil Field jumped over to the Warlock here, going up against ZLS on that Death Knight. And again, just to remind everyone, and mainly to remind myself, not too hard to do now, it's Starship Warlock and not the Quest Warlock.
Not too hard to do at all with the Starship piece in the hand.
Exactly, I did my best. I did my best.
Of you.
Oh, we're having some snacks on stream as well.
Control. You run riot, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Liz sounds a bit Swedish.
Good. You should. You're living your best
Although
life.
The part of the word that means something anyway.
Alright, Phil Field does have a pretty good hand, but missing the one key component that the Warlock does really need, which is the Ancient.
Yeah, it's going to be able to get those caverns down nice and early, though. Well, at least having 2, it's going to do a pretty good job of not getting that too much of that early Death Knight aggression that can happen with this kind of hand from ZLS.
I'll tell you what, there's a plan hatching here. Make a load of 8/8s, but
was a bad idea.
He would definitely rather just have an Ancient of yours, I think.
There's still time.
There is. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, there's still exactly 1 more turn.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna get a card though.
Good point. Well made.
I'll be so happy if it gets drawn off the top.
So will Phil. I think we'll see him like do another circuit of that room that we've seen him do so many circuits of already. Honestly.
I will say, it's something I've wondered, you know, obviously because our stuff's so long and we've seen very many different types of players, or at least how they express themselves on camera. I do wonder how exhausting being a more animated player is. You know, like we'll get up, walk around, you know, the likes of Phil Field, the likes of Gabby, for example, you know, all these more animated, like they like to move around, get up, turn around. I don't know if that's like more exhausting or it makes you feel better because you're not sat super still for hours on end. So I've always thought about that because I'm generally a very static person when I'm focused. I sit like very still and just focus, but some of these players like to do a lot of movement.
A lot of top chess players, or all top chess players, I think, walk around when doing the game. It's a bit different because you're thinking about a move for 20 minutes, not 75 seconds. But you know, that activity. Also taking on food mid-match.
Keep that energy up. ZLS though did just hit the copy minion, which I think was Phil Field's shake of the head then of like, yeah, well, they got the thing.
He's just curved as well, ZLS. Like he has just sort of gone 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Or 3, 3, 4, 5.
He's looking good though. The double Ultralisk Cavern going to help, and then there is also summon a copy for Phil Field. So let's pretend this is how life works and say this is fair for the locations. Yeah, not too bad.
We definitely played well in Hearthstone.
Could also, I think, just use
one
of these caverns to proc if they wanted to, if any.
Yeah. We'd like to get an instinct to have a whole turn of 8/8s, I think, with the Dark Marrow later.
Yeah, that's true. It's just
Phil had a lot of support in chat last time around, right? And is a streamer, very consistent streamer. And now I'm starting to see why Phil Field was so popular, like very expressive, fun to watch.
And ZLS, obviously, very popular, top of the head, fun to watch.
ZLS is just very popular because, like I say, like he's the savior of America's region.
Because he's just good.
He's just good.
So you discover the Frost Strike. Try and discover something decent.
We go.
Okay, let's just race in to get all these pieces out, right? And start to build that starship up.
Yeah, he's got the moon and the X-Star next to each other in hand as well. Ready to go on turn 8, potentially. With a sneaky crystal on turn 5. Could just be enough stuff.
Lots of mozzarella. It's just 800 calories, maybe 1,000 with the extra.
Obviously, you're constantly terrified of the full clear that Warlock has available.
6 tiny slides, you know.
But with the layovers,
they try to make regular size pieces not going very well.
Something. Not super late, but not on time either. Fashionably late.
Raven, if I was coming to your birthday party and I came 2 years late, would you think it was super late? Because that's what yours just done here.
Probably not, because if you came to the birthday party 2 years late, you'd still be technically showing up to my birthday, right?
Sure.
If it was exactly 2 years late.
Okay.
So I'd be okay.
You can invite me next year. See you in 2027.
Yeah, it's like when you tell someone who's always late to turn up at something and you tell them it starts an hour earlier than it does.
Yeah, then they hear about this and they're 2 hours late.
Yeah, I'll book a birthday party for 2 years' time and then invite you to my one this year.
Yeah, the pocket train strategy.
Doesn't bro what used Ultralisk Caverns?
Got boards like this just make me laugh with Hearthstone because the game's changed a lot. The board's full and there are currently 0 actual minions on Phil Field's side. If that, you know, obviously there's technically minions that are dormant, but you know what I mean, right?
But also, yeah, ZLS's board looks really threatening, but actually he can't spend any mana this turn because of it, and he's doing 10 damage, which is a lot, but it's also, you know, looking at this board, is it a lot really? Not really.
And the hand's full as well, so you can't even really just commit to card draw instead, right?
Yeah, it's quite funny. Which is 18 health versus 41, just sneakily here with this weird leechy stuff and chip damage. Weaving in spells.
Well, that can change pretty quickly, of course.
Oh yeah, I don't think Phil feels even necessarily under that much pressure. Like, he's still at table flip if he really feels it. But Exodar and Blood Moon is going to make a mess of everything pretty soon. Which is what's stopping him from being able to do anything exciting with these locations. Yeah. He's got to save them for the layover to clear one of the many boards that's going to come out of these starships.
Never die.
It's just one consume, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, just going to line these up as you mentioned earlier. Basically back to full
setting
health.
up a big swing turn.
Oh, that's Wheel of Death.
Yeah, it's pretty good in a conservative control matchup and nobody dies.
Yeah, and this is interesting actually. If ZLS doesn't go for it this turn, which I think he does, Phil will have the opportunity to just go, here's a wheel.
Yeah.
Used to be 3 turns to get somebody, not 5 turns.
Like he's on 36, he's got time, he's got removal, he's got healing.
Crazy nerve, really.
But also as well, the board's pretty full to go for it, right?
They can't actually
really go for it,
exploding himself.
Yeah, there's the Leech, there's now the 2-3. The 1-1 will summon as well. The Elise can't trade itself off. The location is still on 2 charges, so won't go down anyway.
And the threats are minimal. Like, this is not a terrifying board to face down from Phil's side. Obviously, the Starship's always like a ticking time bomb, but I think Phil can just get the wheel out. Is his hand good enough? Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm too wheel happy.
The problem is though, what are the draws? Like, are the more draws gonna outweigh wheeling as early as possible? Because again, right, there is the 5-5, but still this board is arguably too full to really go off on for ZLS.
Yeah, what if you play the wheel and just let all these minions stay there forever?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Consume your own 5-5. Don't do that, but not causing conflagrate. Like, quite obviously and quite clearly, I just haven't got any idea whether you wheel or not here, but I want to.
Worrying.
You've got a starship, you've got 1 set of removal, you've got some 8/8s, you've got a bit of taunt. You haven't got any freeze. Yeah, configure your own 5-5 was something I like because your opponent now has to blow their own board up if they want to make any progress.
Rosty Fox is killing his own units.
We're saying that we can take 10 or 11 a turn and not care.
He's taking too much damage.
The Caesars should come down a bit if you blow up your own board here. The Caesars goes down from 42 into sort of the high 20s straight away. By the end of the turn.
It is, yeah. Honestly, I really like the way Phil feels sort of approached this. Set up pretty well and made these turns very awkward for ZLS.
I can see both hands. I'm going, I think this might be the right play, but I'm not sure. Phil can't see both hands, and there's all the pressure in the world on his shoulders, and he's making that play. Now we set up our starship because nothing's happening.
Also, you take a lot more damage now. Take 15 instead of 6.
Or do we make 1,000,000 8/8s? No, we make 1,000,000 8/8s after Starship's launched, right?
Bro, it's gonna save the vast risks for the next game.
Yeah, I think just holding them's nice. There's Curse Campaign, can make a copy now. And that's about, what, 8,000 armor?
It is exactly 8,000, I think.
Yeah, I've got the Siphon Sword for any spot removal.
And we talked about this earlier. Maybe me and Ada actually were talking about this earlier. Like, the onus is on the Death Knight to win the game, and you get these standoff situations. Death Knight has slightly better aggressive tools, so it can win the games for sure. It doesn't always go this way. Yeah, you have to find the spot to spend 8 mana and destroy your deck and have a hand that can withstand that. But
yeah, funny. Why don't I have like top 1?
That is sort of the tiebreaker in these games where both of you got fairly good hands. You're both going expansive. Yeah, there's the first part of the trillion armor. So you have to shoot.
Things can happen. We've seen these starships do things before, right? Like shuffle the bombs, for example. This could be big.
Yeah, he had to go for the shooting here because he has to do the damage again. Survival doesn't matter. And it's good luck, everybody.
Yep.
What we're gonna get?
Nope. No.
Okay. Oh dear. All right.
Bomb.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of stuff, but there's only a couple of turns left.
Oh. Gotta get rid of these. Yeah.
More ships, please.
Make an 8/8 first. Yep, to get rid of the other one. Sure.
Siphon when the board's full.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Whoop.
Look at that. The game. Run.
You 8/8 now?
Oh, going for the clear that. Well, going for just the ultra.
Delay over clear. Yeah.
What's the problem for a thermal layover?
Yeah, as long as there's no repeat bomb shuffling, right, it should be fine for Philfield here.
He's taking, what, 18? 15 from bombs is 23. What's he got, like 2 more turns? There's a ceaseless will be on 0. There's a lot of armor coming up next turn. So this is kind of... This needs to be a very, very good turn if it does. Doesn't have lethal, which it doesn't. And all ZLS's cards are defensive options, Raven, you know.
Yeah.
More yours, great. Here's 10 armor when I explode.
Yeah, it's not the best, is
Very
it?
hard to do a thing. Alright, what's the spell gonna be? That one.
Yeah, that's it. There's just not a lot. Philfield reacting as if he's won the series and actually just evened it up, but he does stay alive in this match. So, yeah, genuinely, at least from what I've seen, I think Philfield has been playing really well and has been showing that the persistence, right? In these matchups and just sticking calm and just knowing the way to win games, whether it ends up working or not, you know, is why we play the game. But just having that approach of saying, yeah, I can just play the slow and steady game. I'll play these late game scenarios, obviously with these decks, and yeah, doing really, really well. And again, ZLS is by no means out of this. We are going to now just slowly move into a kind of Death Knight mirror, the fastest known game of Hearthstone. But still, I think the ability to play this well in these high pressure scenarios has been really impressive from Philfield.
No, I agree. I'm giggling because it's always going to be this in Game 5 of the last group, of the first group of the day. There's another group after this, by the way.
Yeah, we're doing this again.
Gamer RBG, amongst others.
Yep.
So that's going to be a good time. But yeah, I agree with you entirely. Like, he's kept his cool. It started to look like things were going against him. The first series he played today that we saw was, you know, pretty rough for him. Then he drops down into this bracket and starts losing to some more pretty rough stuff. Just sees a moment, takes a moment out to take a breather, gets going again. Keeps coming from behind. and he's allowing with what is effectively a 50-50, but I think it's quite a lot of skill expression in the DK matches. Well, a lot of the decisions don't look particularly
Let's play 2 skilling accounts while they're
influential, but if you get them right over and over again, you will do better than your opponents.
Do you want to hear some? I know you like stats, Lauren. Do you want to hear something that's pretty
I do.
shocking?
Why not the fuck up,
Just
man?
today, in this group, ZLS's Death Knight against Phil is 0-5.
Oh, because they've already played, yeah.
Yeah, because ZLS lost versus Phil earlier today in the first initial match and went 0-3 on the Death Knight, and now is 0-2 so far in this series, right? So
that's
it's
really shocking.
Yeah, that is. I wouldn't have guessed. You know, it's like literally 0-5 against one person in one group bracket with this specific deck, and it's Death Knight of all decks. But I guess
Must
it also
be due a win.
Yeah, well, that's the way to look at it for sure if you're ZLS.
That's how stats work, right?
But I think that just shows one of those interesting things that's kind of always been the case with Hearthstone is if there's decks that you expect everyone to bring to a tournament, people are going to be prepared to face them, right? It sounds a bit silly to just say, but those are the decks. There's a reason, right? Everyone's bringing Death Knight, but it's barely being banned. Because people just there's better bans, and I'm prepared to play against Death Knight. So we can see these outcomes, which is, I think if people, for example, just played ladder and didn't really think about tournament play or anything like that, they might be like, well, why is Death Knight being allowed to play? It's really good, or everyone's bringing it, it's really strong. But it's because these players are sort of set up and able to deal with it. Obviously, this might be a bit extreme, being 5-0 against one specific person, but still, it just shows that it's not just all powerful, right?
And you can't ban everything. Like these are all powerful decks. You can't just like. Do you really want to leave Rogue up all day? Some people say yes. Some people say no. Do you really want to leave Druid up? That's a bit more specific on your lineup. To be fair, because Druid will be pretty good against certain lineups and pretty bad against others. But yeah. Death Knight, do you really want to play 30 minutes every game? Well, good luck if you do.
It's why when I used to compete many years ago, I'd just bring aggro lineups and be like, right, it's going to be over one way or the other, right? Either way, I'm gonna be have some time to spare normally anyway, at least the way I used to play. But anyway, we are getting to game number 5. It's been honestly quite the day for both of these players so far. We're only in the first group, of course, but it's all coming down to this. The winner is to move on to Sunday's single elimination. The loser is going to be done, and honestly, Lorinda, after the day these two have had, it's going to suck to lose.
It is going to suck to lose this Hearthstone game right now, yeah. So let's hope for a good, clean one. Whatever that means, I don't know.
I was going to say, it sounds like they're about to go outside and fight or something for the final game.
Yeah.
And I feel just dropping out the tempo Pyromancer here and putting a little bit of pressure. DLS equipped with plenty of chip pieces, as well as Philfield, of course. There is that.
This is a nice curve when you choose to play the Pyromancer, which again, Sottles talked about this quite extensively earlier. Just stop your opponent getting their value by hitting them with numbers.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. So you're giving up a whole board clear later with this, but in return, you're hitting them with numbers.
This is just that, like you said, just 2, 3, 4, and then your 5 being Ancient of Yore, your 4 being Xavius. Like, yeah, these are pretty nice. If you're gonna curve, this is it.
I agree. Like, there is the option to just play the 4 or 5 next turn if you really want to.
Yeah.
Maybe you do. I mean, I always Ancient because I'm a coward, but yeah, numbers on board, that's what he's chosen to go for this game, right? And this is why he's, head in hands thinking about it a little bit. Because this isn't your Commonwealth Garden turn 5 play.
Yeah, I like the value trade here.
Yeah, you can't just, well, you can, but it didn't seem relevant to throw everything to the wind. It didn't set up lethal, right? It was... it was one off, even with a hero power next turn.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, because there was no hero power last turn, right? So it would have needed to be that.
I guess the Infested Breath gets there, actually, but yeah, even so.
Yeah, I think the problem is as well, what could the hand possibly be that ZLS doesn't have a way to either clear something or put a taunt up or gain armor or do this?
Anyway. Yeah.
And if they just end up passing their turn, you've probably won anyway, so who cares?
Yeah.
This could be over very fast, though. Vampiric Blood going to come down here for ZLS, going to gain that extra health with the corpses, of course. But...
And you can see it, right? You can see the difference that Soto was trying to highlight earlier, that ZLS isn't getting to do what he wants. He's desperately trying not to corpse explosion and stuff here, because he can't anyway. You just get a feel how much damage is going in. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean the game will end here, because, you know, Death Knight, if it stabilizes, will quite often be fine. There's that Ziliax waiting in ZLS's hand. This doesn't have to get over the line.
And also,
Phil could go with plan B.
Yeah, bear in mind, because of that Vampiric last turn, there's one corpse for ZLS. So that corpse explosion doesn't really exist for now, right? It doesn't really do anything right now.
Phil feels decided to go back to, you know, your regularly scheduled program, which is play some Yor, draw some cards. Of course, he is out of things that he would like to throw into the grinder now.
There is Guiding Infested, right? Like that is a thing that exists for that turn.
There is,
but I do agree. I think Yor is just correct at this point because there's enough pressure on the board. There was an option, but I agree, not the best option.
Okay.
It's going to be
Didn't get to chill in Exodar because of all the pressure again. I was just going to keep highlighting how this tempo has affected this game. Had to...
Oh, pretty nice outcome there. Able to get like a quick trade with the dragon, of course.
It's nice, but that's your ship. It's gone now. Your ship deck has had a little 12-11 ship and a couple of things.
What a world we live in. Yeah, a little 12-11.
Yeah, baby ship.
Yeah. It's just a little fighter jet. No star carrier. Well, Pyro player getting locked in here to just fully wipe all these dangerous threats. Oh, well, okay. All being a very loosey-goosey term right now, but you know what I mean.
Loosey-goosey. Oh!
Time to just drop
Right, let's see what happens now, because obviously, for the time being, the tables are turned. So this is all the tempo and the cards and the stuff on board, but not the health total. They're not nice numbers, are they?
My rule is eternal.
Okay. It is funny actually talking about the little 12-11 and yeah, the little 8-7 over now. People just don't panic, do they? There's an 8-7 and a 4-5. Remember Hearthstone for a few years? He'd be like, oh my goodness, Savannah Jaime.
What the fuck?
ship, right? So
he can roll his own nonsense spaceship. Yeah.
I'm getting hacked.
He's gonna have to.
Draft my recipes for gluten-free oatmeal, sugar-free can.
You'll take the control first from Infestation. Is it time to ship?
Welcome to multi-stream, guys.
Or is it wait, because now there's Orbital Moon as well?
Okay. guess you can wait. He's choosing to wait. Some more cards. Alright. That was a good pickup. Loads and loads of AoE. There's many leeches, Raven. I can't go.
There is.
Okay. If you ship number 2, if it even matters. Right, see how this looks this turn. There's an emergency going on, but I guess Ziliax into your opponent's Ziliax is a pretty good way to resolve emergencies in modern Hearthstones.
Yeah, a lot of this is just, I'm almost just staring at the 8-7 and just be like, so when is this game dealt with? When are we opening that box? You know, like, is that a future Phil Field problem? You know, is that for future Phil Field here? Like,
future Phil Field problem, I think it might be.
That's how I think of a lot of my problems. It's like, future Raven will deal with it.
What do you think of past Raven? He sounds like a bit of an idiot.
Sometimes he's great.
Great.
Right?
Yeah?
When past Raven buys food and I forget I've got it and then I open the fridge and it's there, I'm pretty happy.
Oh, yeah. Past Raven gets in the cheese and the ketchup.
Raven.
Exactly.
Yeah, past Raven knows what it's about.
You think you run out of some coffee and then you open the fridge and there's actually like 3 or 4 left over? You're like, oh yeah, I thought ahead with this.
Bucket.
ZLS could just rip the corpse explosion.
Yeah, he's got
just to clear everything and pile on the pressure, right? But instead, we leech.
This is why me and you are not as good as ZLS and Phil Field, right? Both of us by now would have lost patience at some point and tried to clear this board up, so it's a board you could understand.
I mean, you heard me earlier. I was talking about brawling a board of like 2 2/2s or something just to play a card. Like,
was that today? Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. Hang on, let me check the time. Yes, still technically today. Yeah, we're good.
But yeah,
we might sneak into our tomorrow for this broadcast.
Might do. It's possible.
Yeah.
They are getting so much value from the leechers, both of them. They're being really, careful not to waste stuff. But the 8-9 is now an 8-1, or the 8-7 is now an 8-1, so might be time. Time to hit your Amelia. Clear up all these 2 health things.
There are just I was gonna say there are also leeches that can be played. Oh no, going with the ghoul instead. I'm gonna trade in.
Yeah. Find out what happens. See what sort of mess you're in.
Okay. Go again.
Go. You've got to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you're in now, aren't you? You just commit. It's either.
Oh, you've got to do it at some point, and you've got a lot.
It's either
more
that or not trading on Melia, right? Oh. Okay. Well, that's a huge W, yeah. That is such a big deal.
Yep. You take your time to put a lot of the 4/5s in there before trading, like over the last 3 or 4 turns, because he took his time rather than panicking. And now he's looking in a good spot again.
Before they go mushy and alkalized.
The GLS ship's probably reasonably solid, but it should be a fairly baby ship, having the first ship being launched so early, going back to the start of this game, where we've got a long way to start this game, but Phil Field put all that early pressure on. ZLS had to launch early, so this ship should be smaller than Phil Field's by some margin, you would think.
I really want to see a nice cock bro, but actually I'm gonna see a nice cape bro.
Here we are. Pieces, please.
What's that? Pizza, please? Is that an order?
Pizza's always an order.
This is a choice. Serve another or die alone.
Okay. That tells ZLS quite a lot about what he's facing now, and he's not going to like it.
Yeah, like, oh, I have good cards in hand for Phil Field, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're choosing to play that, it means you've got the key cards, or at least enough key cards out of the deck to say, yep, I'll turn my deck into a demon portal and work with what I've got from there. But also, I really like this ordering because it was as safe as you're ever going to get him down, right? So get it down now, you're completely safe. Then you can start doing Exodar, the Exodar Ceaseless Expanse type things if you need to.
The card draw is always important going into this as well. You're getting rid of garbage cards. You will start immediately picking up those demons. So getting down the Ancient, doing well Ancient of Yours in play is nice. But yeah, with the Exodar, with the Ceaseless, with the double corpse explosion, it's all there. And ZLS doesn't even have it. Okay. Just see how he plays from here. 9 mana for that. Ooh.
Yeah, that's either really good or really bad, I find. Because it does have lifesteal and rush, right? Or am I thinking of the wrong demon?
Yes, it has lifesteal.
It does, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, against certain matchups, that's really good. But yeah, not necessarily in this one.
Poppy down. Just an assortment of bodies on the board. Okay. So making the board with like minimal resources here.
That's actually really some.
Yeah, not really overcommitting, just throwing the meat shields out initially. No, Melee is going to be able to do a pretty good job of dealing with this.
Bro, good taunt. He's mutating, Shad. He's mutating.
Right. So this is some way of getting your value back if you can spare the turn.
I am low on cards.
Taking a big 10, but can you spare the turn? I'm not so sure.
This is still pretty decent. Again, just sort of throwing these out, buying the time.
Yeah, waiting for this Exodar.
And weirdly, the longer this goes on without Kill Jaden from ZLS, the more Phil feels feeling okay about it, right? Because he's just keeping X amount of turns ahead at that point with that stat difference.
I mean, weird, funky stuff can definitely happen with Kill Jaden when you're 2 or 3 turns behind and think you're done and you can just get better draws. But
what you get is a huge impact, but you know it can be offset by just being very ahead on stats, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
And also just keeping this 9/6 on board, that's a pretty nice amount of damage to be able to just chunk into that armor.
See that little spaceship earlier? These demons are going to be so much bigger than it soon.
Did Phil?
Yes.
It looked like Phil thought that was a mistake and he was hovering Exodar, but I don't think you summon the ship if you're playing more minions, right? So I don't
think so.
I don't think it was a mistake. In terms, at least you wouldn't play a minion at all, right? If you wanted to Exodar
It's
the ship.
consistent, yeah. It's consistent with what he seemed to be trying to do. Oh, yeah, you've got to tell me when you want to play this Vampiric, by the way. When you want to draw 2 really chunky, big, buff demons, but when do you want to do that?
Yeah, also mana, right?
So, yeah.
And there's a world where you need the corpses. That's a less likelihood because there's always stuff that's going to be dying.
No, true.
But there's also minions that are going to get really big soon. So
I was trying to just go to the other one into using a corpse explosion. And Phil feels winning that race, right?
yes.
Like, here comes a Ceaseless for ZLS because
That's
he's
a
the
big
one
deal.
facing down the wall of stuff.
First Ceaseless is so
Phil feels-
huge because then you just do it in response, right?
Yeah.
Perfect bridge, in my opinion.
Oh, this can also
If
get
you
a
have
little bit
to.
silly as well, right? Discover. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
For example.
Shadrasil.
1 cost Shaladrisil, quite good. Not a bad card.
Get Ceaseless back to your hand if.
I think it's time
Okay.
to rip now. The board's empty, right? Exodar's not really getting any
Sure.
better. I'd probably Ceaseless, though.
Would you if you didn't know about the Shadrasil, though?
Well, maybe not, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I've got caster vision at this point. And
Oh,
I'm
wow, that's
stuck in
pretty
it, you
fucking
know?
nasty, man.
The pressure is starting to show now on both players, though. I'm not surprised. They've been here for a long time. It's 2-all in an eliminator match.
Yeah, what are we on, actually? Hang on a minute. Let me do some
You don't want to know.
quick maths. But like I said, both these players have had a heck of a day of Hearthstone.
They have.
And they've played, what, three matches? Three
Yeah.
three matches.
Dungar?
Yeah, and I
Ironically,
think
it's even
this
funny.
match
I'm
is so far 1.5
making
hours
elevators on the
just
server.
this match.
Elevator operation.
Sweet.
Okay.
Bomb is just getting shuffled
Yes,
into
what
the
a
portal.
job.
Oblivion music to me for some reason.
Okay, well, some damage push there from the dragon, of course. The board has been built by Philfield.
Can't play Shadrasil for the dream card to get it back into hand because it's just going to. There's not enough hand space, right? So it'll always get corrupted cards, which you don't want if you want to get it back in your hand.
That's a
You'll
serious
just
crap.
shuffle it
You've
into
done
the
that
deck,
so bad.
which then will never be seen
Spaceship.
again. Another removal card drawn out. Here I feel. Okay, cost him his starship to do
Well,
it.
instead you're gonna die to Tortola. Tortola takes next.
Just get the feeling that slowly but surely ZLS is just getting behind. Still has the X-Star left though.
It's animation time in doing nothing to speed up the length of this match.
It's taking a while.
Okay, Philfield though, already happy to just start just prepping the next spaceship.
Yeah.
Does have that again, the copying minion. Been pretty good with this location, honestly. It's generally can be difficult to just have a location sat there doing nothing turn after turn after turn, but by holding it and not being, being a little bit patient, being able to get even more of these starship pieces off to then sort of rebuild another big threat, which could be the difference between winning and losing here.
Yes, every turn now, isn't it? He's getting something major in terms of the board. Okay. Starting number 2 for ZLS.
You can sure
Just a little
yourself.
1822.
They'll start stacking the armor now. There's the Reborn with the Orbital Moon, and there's a 10-10 copy as well. Right, this is not the one-drop location.
103 plays 112.
Went for play. Okay. Gonna drop it this turn. Fair enough.
Huh? Oh, we've only got 38 corpses to play with, Raven. Ah, no, it's this time of day. Death rattle o'clock, we call it. Robot.
Dollar baguettes
Okay.
baseball name.
One dodged. Two dodged.
Delicious. Cherries. Holy shit, that's good. That's the best cherry I've ever had.
113 armor for ZLS, but he's out of
I
stuff now.
remember.
I think he's going to have to rely on his Kill Jaden things if he's going to get there. And still 2 removals on either side. Phil with the Ceaseless and the Corpse Explosion, and ZLS with the Corpse Explosion and the Pyro Poison. But Phil feels demons are like 3 turns ahead, right?
Yes, 3 or 4.
2 or 3.
I think 3.
Oh, you think maybe 4? Okay.
Yeah, the big
It's
deal
not
here
too bad,
is it's
Jeff,
sort
don't worry
of
about it.
like
I can feel it.
yeah, Ceaseless
I
on
can
one
feel it.
side. Well, there's more clears on one side, but there is Shaladrisil as well, which could, you know, create some
That's why
shenanigans.
he's
Right?
baguette
sure
by a
could,
big
yeah.
bodybuilder.
Very X-Factory card, and of course another card still to come as well from that location. Here's some stuff.
Yeah, this is the benefit of ZLS taking advantage of Phil Field just playing like one big thing and that's it. It's like, well, okay, I'll play 4 big things, and then you have to probably do a clear or do something to be able to deal with them.
It's only like 30 attack. He's got 112 health. It's fine.
True.
So ludicrous. Oh yeah, deal 2, discover a minion. What a card.
2 portals. Get +4/+4 a turn, right? No?
Draw a card of your opponent's
Imagine
Weasley
that.
portal deck.
Yeah, imagine that. You could just make bigger portal if you just play another Kill
I'll
Jade.
double it up.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be so
+4/+4.
sick. Yeah.
Power portal.
That is so fucking spicy, man.
The old question, trade-off place when you've got a 14-13 to opponent's 10-9, but they have 161 health.
Battle chestnut out.
Hate that situation.
We've all been there.
Yeah, sorry YouTube if I stop streaming to YouTube later because I want to play music, but
So get rid of this is stop.
can come over to
Yeah, 6.
just gonna run it off a bit.
Honestly,
Twitch.
this is a part of the game where you just
I'm
press
not gonna do
buttons.
it in 5 minutes.
My
Yes.
brain struggles so hard with this, guys. You can probably tell from listening to me waffle about it. Like, which part of all that means the least value? But it is. It does a point every turn. Your opponent's got to
Well,
deal with it.
remember, because
Well,
the
you
cherry
get
is so
help.
tasty, I remember I have nothing better, you know?
Oh,
This works,
Evan.
right?
yeah. If there is,
Oh my
there's
god, it's
things
so
in there which
sexy,
they should
sexy
be.
infinite plays.
Well, brilliant. An 18-2. Can summon a copy of it though. If we
And some
want
armor.
even more armor.
I
Yeah.
should have said only for Mexicans. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay. Take 6 and 18-2 and 8 armor.
Big fan
I
of
feel
Mexican
for the
food.
players here, right? This
My
is
stomach is
all
big.
on the line. And
I don't.
I'm
signed up for this.
I'm gonna learn to make a burrito
you-
myself. It's
yeah,
a good
okay,
idea.
sure.
It's gonna
You bring
cut the
Death
cost down
Knight.
a lot as well.
This is what you get.
Well,
Yeah,
if you put
okay.
like beans
Fine.
and corn, with some
just allowed to
soy mince,
make some little 14-12
some other
dragons.
vegetables, cook it.
This is nice though. It's like
Stir-fry it.
making the most out of the
Then
trade. Does have the
you-
location, of course, to get the second
I don't know how
mark.
you wrap it. It's like
Oh,
I've seen it
right,
in
it was 8
you
shots,
wrap
right? Not 6
it,
shots, not
There you
22.
go.
Should be 22.
You want a really
That
nice
sounded so
umami, deep fat or deep
facetious,
meat
right?
flavor for the
should
flavor.
be
Otherwise
22.
it's
They
gonna
deserve it.
taste like
Yeah, I think
sandwich.
the players do deserve it. Everything should start doubling now. That's that's what would be funny. If like the portal's
Oh.
like, okay, after a while, we're just gonna start doubling the numbers.
This is a bit of a miss. Only costing 7 is not ideal for him.
Ceaseless
Oh,
time.
really?
I mean, there's not much else to do, right?
You could take 30 or 40.
Okay, gonna reroll.
She just wants to re-roll, but they'll be small, right? Oh, no, they keep their stats.
Yeah. You know what?
So
Observer
7 mana
Mysteries?
Observer Mysteries. 7 mana 22, 23. Fine.
Yep, take it.
No, good play them.
But depending on what the next draws are, this is the problem, right? Because if you can only play one thing per turn, that's normally how you lose these mirrors, I think, at least at this point.
I think you're right.
Because your low costs are as big as your big ones anyway at this point, right? So the problem now is if this is a 4-drop or more that's drawn to the field, this could be problematic. And it's
And they are both taking the, they are taking the draw cards for your opponent's deck and all that sort of stuff to try and keep amount of stuff as high as possible.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Of course. I'm not racist towards anyone. I like
Just die.
Mexicans.
It's only
I like
1970.
culture.
Just die.
I like Gustavo. Gus.
Are we going to go for the double trade here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it.
Yeah, you've got their 14-12 covered with your 19-17 Maker
The
Spaceship. It's
tortilla
fine.
ladies are the backbone of the Mexican fine dining.
But yeah, Phil out of draw. ZLS. Bunch of stuff. Does have a clear. Phil has a clear. ZLS has 2 clears, right? Technically.
Some ladies said some
Oh,
Mexican
with
ladies
that,
said
yeah. Sorry, Corpse Explosion,
supposed to
and
be
Pyro
like,
Poison.
Corpse
just
Explosion
like
34
guess what
should
said
still
Mexico
clear.
has the best
Yeah.
food in the world. What do you think
Getting
about
a bit
that? Huh?
sketchy.
What
They're
is
gonna
the
be
best
34
food in the
health,
world?
but, you know.
Again, let's see if there's 2 playable there. Okay.
I don't know, man.
There are 2 cards that can be played.
Maybe Italian or French.
I really want to drop this
Yeah, maybe
Observer Mysteries
Italian,
right now,
huh?
and then just play the other card immediately and not even look at the secrets and let ZLS work it out.
Yeah, because they drew exactly a 3-drop, you want to get the expensive ones out, right?
Yeah.
Ice
Barrier
Barrier
and
Explosive Trap.
yeah.
Explosive
I
Trap
get through that, yeah.
probably not going to do enough damage to make too much of an impact here.
I think what you wouldn't want to be up against here, actually. You can't trade because you don't want to give the 3/6 freeze. You probably don't care about that. Actually, it's probably fine. You don't really want to get freezing trapped, but you can't just sit and do nothing. The secrets seem to have been outscaled.
Just a touch.
Just a touch. Alright. Just a 6 damage from
So,
Shooty
so
Priestess.
is ZLS kind of just leveraging the fact that it's got so much more health? That it's just, well, you have to trade into me to trade?
I think he's just, honestly, slowly but surely sort of crept in front because of better draws, but I don't think that's going to last because the size of these Phil monsters is just that little bit big enough that he can sometimes just get a value trade.
Yeah.
Like 22-15 hitting into your opponent's 6-8 type value trade, or even into their 14-8, you know?
The problem is, the 2 clears might be the big problem here, right? Because, like, ZLS
Yes.
can clear it arguably twice, and there's only
Absolutely,
one
yeah.
corpse explosion, like we discussed earlier, of course. So
Yep.
that's probably going to be the tipping point, but as it is, you know, let's just be honest, as is the case with the point of the mirror at this stage of the game, both players just need good demon draws, and sometimes you draw bad demons and you lose because of it. So definitely something that can
What
happen.
is lost?
Another
That makes
huge
me
opening
actually
down
think
here
game
from
penalty,
Philfield, though.
actually.
Corpse Explosion costs 5. There might end up being a turn where ZLS has to clear. He's found a 5 there. Where he has to clear and doesn't get to play a minion alongside it, and Philfield just reloads with a 30-30. So it might come down to that. As you see here, look, he has to put that trade in there to make sure that there isn't a value trade into his 22-21. This is
Ooh,
massive, though.
yeah, that's a lot.
It's a large stat.
Sometimes you get the good demons, sometimes you get the bad ones. But yeah, kind of going back to what I mentioned earlier, in certain scenarios, this having the rush, and you know, lifesteal not relevant right now, but the rush is huge. Like any demons you draw with positive effects, as well as obviously the massive stats now, is really big. Because the second your opponent doesn't draw one of those, you are naturally going to be ahead.
Alright, it's equalised now on removals.
Well, if you are racing against the cross-dressing subspecies Scottish people of
There is still
Britain,
this starship which has some stuff in it as well.
Yeah, I don't know if this stuff's
Like that was
relevant
the
anymore.
reload shit, right?
Oh, you get in me
I
here.
mean, it's a taunt and some armour. We both claim 1 minion a turn. If that gets you, you get a 5 drop, you launch your ship just because maybe it gets you a little bit of tempo because of it.
Wait a
For now,
minute.
yeah, you still.
Wait a minute.
Oh my goodness!
The Lord. There are normal stats, but they are
they
still
are.
minions, right? Like that is the more than one thing a turn.
Oh, you just keep training with the
Like,
minions.
wideboard is important now, right? Because I mean, it might not pull out any kind of removal,
Although there is a
but
maximum
these
of 50
minions aren't
turns.
small. Obviously, they're small in relation to hitting for 22
Yeah,
or
increase
33,
60 is
but
not
you know,
done.
2/7 attack, 2/5 attack, that's already a very relevant amount of damage.
Yeah, I mean, you can trade your 33-33 into their 22-22 and still
I really-
push 19 plus 5, which is 24. Sure. Or you get to trade them all away into one thing here, but yeah, it's extra minions worth stuff. What do we got here? Oh.
They're cross-dressing because they were
Yeah,
kills.
it
Get it?
benefits Filthiel now to just value trade as much as possible.
I think so.
And just like leave that 22 up and send everything else to face, right? Oh, well, yeah, trade
Yeah, I
one
think
away
so.
so you can play another big demon, right? Wait, was that?
It's fine. It's all okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fully trading, okay. I think
all
I would
good.
have just left
It's all
that
good.
up.
I was thinking that at first, but actually, if he pushes 22 and then clears and plays a demon, you might actually start having a little problem you can't deal with. And you don't want to use that last corpse explosion.
Yeah, I guess this ends the turn with the most stats.
This is a lot of stuff.
The only concern is if this is cleared, there's now not multiple demons to be able to be played. Whereas these two could have been your
Sure.
refill if there was a clear.
On the other side of it, if this is all cleared, you are ahead in the clearance stakes with one in your hand and they haven't got any. Plus, they only have 23 corpses, Raven. How do you clear the 29-34? You have to do the thing. It still works. Sure. Ignore me. I'm crazy. I'm losing it. We're also slowly approaching turn time. We can probably work out how many Kill Jaden turns there's been from the size of things.
True.
But yeah. There's some ways to go yet, I think. Look at that. You don't get to draw it though, do you? It just appears. You do get to draw it, sorry.
I think we're on about
Jake, it draws cards.
45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes for this game.
Really?
Roughly. This is just a rough, you know.
For some reason I thought it was a Stitch and Sew draw, but yeah, this Firak's massive because Firak draws so many cards.
Yeah, yeah. And with no drawbacks, right? You're not gonna hit fatigues, draws or anything like that now.
The only drawback being if your opponent has like a 33-33 or something in the board and it doesn't kill it and you get hit for 33, but yeah.
Yeah. So the usual
probably
drawback
don't
of this
care.
point in the game. The drawback is if your opponent has a big minion.
And we mean big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I say big, I mean big. Okay, so we do have this ship down now. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna keep saying okay.
Robot.
Okay.
8-7.
Wow, bro, holy shit.
12-7 spawned first. So does it attack in first at the end of turn? Let's find out.
I think it should be in order, yeah.
Take 10. Boom.
Oh,
not
more
bad at
XP is
all.
losing.
Robot. Only
Yeah,
one
that
robot
was
will
more
spawn a
XP.
robot, right?
Well, you know what they say. If you can't beat them, fire rack them.
Yeah. Right, that's gone.
Yep, that ship's dealt with.
Fireback into the 8-7. Who knows what might... Any Raven. Just
We're about to find out.
we're finding out.
Oh, well, there's card draw.
29-31. Yeah, that's nice. All these numbers suddenly seem so small. When Rogue does this on turn 5, it feels so much more impactful somehow.
Yeah.
Another
More
card and another card.
Okay. Playable card.
27-27.
Playable card. Big deal, because there shouldn't have been any playable cards this turn, right?
Yep.
Realistically,
Absolutely.
let's say, obviously there are a few one-drop demons, don't get me wrong, but realistically, you're not expecting to play anything else alongside this fire egg. More dark.
Very large!
Oh, whatever. Fuck
Wait,
you.
what, Krog?
Surely. Or do we want a Thanos for more cards? I don't know. Double Thanos, actually, for 2 more cards.
Ooh, double Thanos is tempting. Or what about AFK?
+2/+2 and elusive.
Yeah, and then just, what if you just never attack?
Like, surely the Krog dies, right? So you want the 2
But
cards
not
for the
the
Thanos?
mage draws you 2 cards.
Yeah, I think drawing twice is powerful, especially because you've just seen your opponent draw many cards. You need, they will just outpace you, right? Well, depending on what the cards are, but quite likely they'll be able to outpace you now. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
taking the double draw
Like
is
this.
big. However, oh, okay.
He knows it's a fire thing, so...
Yeah, oh,
Down
true.
with 35
Yeah, no,
stats
you're
beating,
right,
though.
you're right. I didn't know whether they wanted to be a trade-in first, but yeah, I did forget about the explosive trap,
Hello?
I'll be honest.
And now he's got 34-36.
No, he's got 2 34-36.
No, he's got 34-36 and a 34-1.
Oh, it's immortal if it doesn't take damage.
There. Oh,
Okay.
that's disappointing.
Well, now might be the time for the old pyro.
Yeah.
Today might
What
be
does
the
he have a
day.
pyro and World Horse Breath?
If you do the magnets, you just get rid of one of the 34-36s. Told you for 34-1. You get to insert 27 if you want. This is so ludicrous. We chilling? We chilling. You were saying earlier about leveraging the life total. That's what he's doing.
Hmm.
Wait, surely he can't. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not. Yeah.
Is he trying to make it so that if Phil wants to swing in for a million, he will die on the V-swing? I think that's what he's trying to work out. So I go face here. Phil can't
I just didn't.
just swing face.
Couldn't this turn have just been clear and do this? I don't know.
But now he's still got the clear in his hand, and he's stepped lethal. I think is the point. So he's trying to make Phil make the clear first.
85 corpses, bitch.
And he's got to push 27. It isn't a lot, but you know.
Hmm.
He's forced Phil not to be able to do this. Phil would love to do this, whatever it is to face.
You know that's just...
Ah, he's going to explode
Yeah.
and
looks like
play
he's
the
locking it in.
hostile invader. Okay. Because he has 85 corpses,
Oh,
which means he can do
man,
85 damage if
pineapple.
needed.
This is gonna blow on.
It's a lot of damage.
Yeah, luckily, it's not needed yet.
It is almost force explosion.
But now ZLS has got the poison breath for 0 onto the pyromancer and play a thing.
Yeah, that was my only concern. Is it's play a thing, right, as opposed
Sure.
to multiple. But yeah, this is still fine, right? Getting rid of the AoE, knowing that your opponent's now effectively out of AoE unless there's some demon shenanigans, is definitely a big deal, 100%.
Just crossing fingers, but he, yeah.
Like if ZLS had like a flame imp there or something.
I don't think
like,
a Swedish
we'd be
word
in
to
business.
describe this match. Dryg.
Sounded
It's annoying.
really.
Or like when I slap a kid that's being dryg.
35 is one less than 36, and the hero power can do one. So you know,
it's of Drygebergs.
that's the thing.
Potato salad.
Play this out. Switcheroo the demons. Killjoy. Oh, not the best.
No, you're gonna ruin your
just play
portal
Amalgam
with
first,
that
lethal.
Right?
Yeah, I mean it does.
After all this, a
If you
3
miss
to
an
Amalgam
infinite
to
portal,
live
it should
the
never be
lethal
seen
blow.
again,
Hilarious.
Yeah,
Or
to be fair,
benefits
there's hero
infinite.
power as well, right? But yeah.
But it
Yeah,
things.
Look, just let me have my fun,
Okay.
okay? Right, get taunted.
Taunt's a little bit annoying when your opponent's way ahead of you on stats and you just used your
Yeah.
plague.
That said rush on it, surely. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it said rush.
I think it's called a Demon Rushman.
Oh, it is. And it reduces the cost of another thing when it dies, right? Or is that when it's played? It's the cliff dive.
Your
die,
random
isn't it?
minion in your hand by 6. Yeah, he has rush.
Which means he gets to play Mega Kill Jaden.
New refresher, kill Jaden. Will you stop fishing, you?
Is that it?
Oh, and there you
That's it.
go. Not going to be
Phil
enough.
Blue Raven, what a comeback and what a
I'll
grind
be so
all
happy.
at once. Oh, twice he looked like he was down and out this series, and he is delighted.
Look at that.
Raven, what have we just watched?
Ask me again tomorrow, which will be in just a couple of hours at this point. But yeah, really crazy match, honestly. And again, I said this a little bit earlier, but Phil Field's ability to just keep on just jamming, even in these tough matchups that look like they're lost, or, you know, just to say, well, it'll be over when my portrait explodes, right? And until that happens, we'll still play. It's been really impressive. And as I mentioned, I'm sort of joking about for us that, you know, how long the
Really
match
weird
lasts,
about
but for
watching
these
all of those.
players, it's a high stress scenario, high stress game, and this series, what was it, like, moving towards 2 hours, just off the top of my head as a guess, maybe, at least moving in that direction, and it's a lot of time.
I live here now.
Yeah, we
Fine.
just exist. It's a lot of time to stay focused for when there's such a big opportunity on the line, right? Because the winner of this now, well, Phil Field now, is moving on to the top 8 on Sunday, where he's just, you know, game away from a World Championship invite, effectively. Whereas, you know, if you lose, you're done, and unfortunately for ZLS that is the case. I think both players played really well and managed to just deal with a very long and stressful series. So again, huge congratulations to Phil Field for making it out of Group A in quite a memorable fashion. But for now, we are going to go to a quick break while we set up Group B, because guess what, we're doing that all over again. Make sure to stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Is this a tournament? I can click on, I think so.
We can just kind of punch him to our heart's content. Now there are technically 3 phases to this fight where the patterns of shots that he makes at us change their trajectories. Not that you'll be able to see that because I'll be kind of skipping most of the visual stuff in this fight.
Yeah, I can watch this because it's a tournament, right? There is a host.
In a very particular way, so that when the phase transition happens, and you'll notice it when Pauline says something along the lines of, "Yeah,
a little bit of nostalgia, you know, because I used to grow up playing these games.
That's exactly what I just said.
Perfect timing.
That's when the phase shift happens. There are certain
the phase shift
I
happens.
guess phases that
Is a
payroll
Scottish
itself
streamer
has, that
living?
if you transition during that.
She spins around when she does it too. Oh man, Hunkybox still alive, left in.
This guy's confident. He's confident now. He's got his confidence back.
Yep.
Almost got that illusion. You know, he's gonna use his lead. He's gonna use his lasers, everything he needs to. Hunkybox has got to stay aggressive.
Oh, maybe I should turn on my headphones, huh?
You can't rest that shield, rest that either. It's too high of a percent.
Oh, and Leffen.
Still able to get the edge guard.
Yep.
Leffen's got to be careful here.
Now if he makes one, wow.
Is this it?
Okay, he DI'd it away.
Oh,
That's the
what
setup.
the
Hungerbox,
fuck?
humongous comeback.
People didn't get
He's looking at the
introduced
ground
already.
like, yeah, I
Just
can
about
do that.
people. Yeah, that's one of the greatest
Ridiculous
moments of all
comeback.
time.
What an upper. All right, now it's the opposite end. And another taunt? Yeah, I know, man. My boy is really out here trying to make a statement. He's like, look, two legit ones, too.
Oh,
It
yeah,
ain't like,
for real.
this ain't like Bob's Gaming, dude. You know, I'm out here, dude. I'm out here, man.
For real.
But let's see, man. Clutch box. You don't want to be afraid either. You need that. You need a middle ground.
Yeah, definitely.
If you do both, it's all bad.
Yeah, you can't have one without
Or
the other.
yeah. Grab.
Great shield.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Even with Leffen
And-
playing safe, Rebox finds that opening.
Clutch God, baby.
Yeah.
Same
Will
stage
all
too.
that taunting come back to haunt him?
That itch breathe.
Yeah, man. Wispy's like, oh,
I know he's breathing with us. He's like,
But Ubisoft cannot take any fucking hit. That's one of the negative
Crowd
side
looking like
effects.
Wispy right now.
Side effects of the character.
Oh, no! No! The movie didn't end the way we... Oh, my God!
What?
What kind of rest was that?
What?
H-Box? Oh, my God.
Clutch God.
That's some M. Night Shyamalan
God,
ending.
yo, I
with
have
the
not
twist.
reacted in a
Yo, that was
long
pretty
time.
clutch.
Dude, that's that twist
Even
ending.
when crazy stuff happens, I don't react. But that
my
was
God.
what the hell was that? I'm a monitor as a border. Oh!
Get fucked up.
Damn.
Yonk lonk.
Sweat. Crowd is hype. Everybody root for Armada. Armada just got laid out. 20 seconds.
Swedish genius Armada.
They're counting down. Oh! He should wait on the platform. He has to wait. Smart. Oh, yo. 9, 7, 6, 5. Oh, no. Oh, wow.
1%.
Wow. That was amazing.
Funny business from you. Oh, and he gets the edge cancel into the up air. H-Box looks sick after that one. He looked like nauseous.
All right. Armada rocks on his last stock, but let's see if he can bring it back.
Oh my goodness.
Armada, though, trying to close it out.
Oh, Randall kind of messed things up just a little bit, just a hair.
Rest still not in play.
Still, you don't want last stock H-Box.
No, you really don't.
You really don't.
Oh.
And
Amazing,
oh my God.
Donner.
Where's he going? Where's he going?
Oh.
Oh, he goes for it all.
Wait a minute.
Wait,
Oh.
just a minute.
All right.
And we're here.
Last game. Last stock. Yo, it happened in Smash 4. It's happening in Melee. What is going on?
Yo, man. Everyone wants that money.
That shmoney.
That shmoney, baby.
Shmoney. Oh. Ah. Oh.
What? Oh my God! He's gonna get he gets the read, and he gets the and H-Box. What? How is he so clutch?
I don't know.
How is he so
I don't
clutch?
know. That was crazy.
Did he jump on Crunch? And he fell down.
Don't break a leg, dude. He broke his foot last time.
How is he so clutch,
That
man?
was nuts.
Listen to this. Clutch.
everyone to...
So it's a hard commitment. Oh!
Yeah, that's the one.
Stuff from Mr. King, of course. One thing that's a problem with Marth, a lot of his moves are kind of laggy. So it's a hard commitment. Oh! From coast to coast. Gets the grab.
From coast to coast.
You know, your druid opponent can just like gain all their armor into kill you, and so it just becomes difficult to feel like you can rely on an aggro lineup in that environment.
Yeah, I think that's very well explained. It's an excellent perspective, but we have progressed. The series has begun. I would say there's no time to waste. I get the impression there will be quite a lot of time to waste during this particular series. Gamer RVG, if you did not know, is a bit of a modern life coach, a bit of a modern Yala, depending on who your slow player de jure of whichever era you've watched the most competitive Hearthstone from. Well known for taking his time over the course of turns. But there has not been a lot to take time over in the opening turns of this one. Both players just passing it out until Tansoku hitting the Robo-Caller on turn 3. Not a universal inclusion in Fire Act Rogue. You a fan of the Robo-Caller at all?
Not generally myself, but I do understand why. I almost think a lot of times you're sort of hoping to get like 2 cards off it, not necessarily the full 3. But the Rogue can, you know, when you miss on Fire Rack, it can feel very awkward, right? Like you see that hand without the Robo-Caller, and you're just sort of like praying for some draw. These are not so much the minions that you care about gifts, although double Battlecry Observer is not terrible. Yeah, so I think it's a bit of a fail-safe, right? The Robo-Caller, just to make sure that you don't end up with those sort of clunky, heavy hands with your Ashamain, with your Narrowlex, and then, you know, nothing to do in the mid-game.
It does seem like nothing to do in the mid-game is going to be the spot for Tansoku from what we're seeing so far.
I guess. I mean, they're not the most impressive things, right? Obviously, he'd love to see Sandbox Scoundrel, but just being able to tide things over a little bit with that double Battlecry Observer, with the creature, right? Getting another 3. There's at least like some stuff to do here.
There is. The problem is the board hasn't been built already, and even like, you know, you mentioned Scoundrel, which is of course the linchpin of everything, but even if you could just go Scoundrel and that Observer on the following turn, the problem is like, yeah, 4 temporary secrets is lovely, but Gamer RVG could, in that position, if he wanted to, just press end turn and not deal with the secrets at all, because there's just no real significant pressure. Oh, hello. Well, never mind. Ignore everything I said. This hand's amazing.
Which was the player who just acted like they were going to draw the best card in their deck every turn, right?
Oh, Blood Trail? Is it Blood Trail? I can't remember.
Well, certainly that's how that turn 5 panned out, and much better when you're defending this board with those secrets. And I mean, we may even see sort of a like trying to clear out the hand for a quick Ashamain, although I suppose this isn't sort of the best matchup for Ashamain. Would be funny to hit all the starship pieces before game early.
Yeah.
Which is sort of information that Tansoku would have, right? Starship DK, if you've got the pieces early, you drop them, and he hasn't seen any of them, so he can expect that, for the most part, they're not there.
Okay, no reaction from the initial secrets. Let's see if we can actually take a look at what they were before they disappeared.
In the 4 matchups.
Okay. Counterspell explosive freezing. Yeah, so it didn't really end up doing anything. But still, that's a 2-2
library.
Gamer RVG just continues with his regular turn.
Yeah, random secrets are like kind of the most frustrating.
I think Hearthstone throughout the years is the game being more pessimistic or negative about.
Either you
voicing my intelligence,
like,
but this is
play around
stupid,
nothing and just say hope they didn't roll it, or you have to sort of meticulously go through.
Yeah, but we have all the control over
sort of
Hearthstone, what we make it,
hitting,
what we describe it to be.
What can I not risk hitting?
The first 5 years with aggro dominating, it was the only thing you could do was play tempo. Counter tempo with some amount of minions. It's fucking stupid. I don't have the Bramble area.
Are you kidding me? What do you mean? I guess that order didn't matter, I think, but if Tansoku's head feels that's the safest way to do it, then that's fine. Yep, and there you go. So yeah, specifically needed a Shadow Step and one of the big dragons off the 3 card draws from the dubious purchase to make that play happen. I was about to call out the fact I thought it was interesting that he was going for the mini scoundrel instead of just going collector doobie, like clearly trying to leave himself mana open to be able to hit things and do things this turn. But I don't think in your wildest dreams you necessarily expect that outcome. Like that was the dream draw from the dubious purchase.
And does set up very nicely now for Ashman if he wants to, right? There's not really going to be a better opportunity for Ashman.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, Fire Rack would likely have filled up the hand again, so in that sense, kind of even the better of the 2 dragons to hit in this moment.
Yeah, for sure.
What are your thoughts on Nightmare Fuel in these rogues?
I don't mind it. There's like 2 or 3 tech card slots, right? And I like Nightmare Fuel a little bit more than I like Robocooler, I think, in terms of the cards that are competing for those spots. But it is the kind of deck where like 22 to 24 cards everyone is like super stoked on and just agrees that they do awesome things, and then you're just trying to fill out the rest of the cards with just good enough cards that do a job. And even like Observer of Mysteries kind of falls into that equation a little bit, right? Where it's a good enough card sometimes it feels terrible. But Nightmare Fuel is... I don't play it in the Fyrak Rogue list I play most often, but it is one of the floating cards that I've gone back to trying the most, if that makes sense. Like it's very high on my substitute list in terms of what I bring into the deck.
Sure.
Really? I think that was
well, there we go. Okay, and now you can Nightmare Fuel to try and hit the Spellburst one.
Yes. That sounds like an excellent idea. With Reborn, if at all possible.
Okay, or a
okay, I mean, Crystal,
Spire.
2/2 copy Crystal. Yep, that sounds fine too.
Yeah, and that might just be... I mean, Exodar for pieces into Exodar for...
Damage. Why is every Death Knight game today just deeply moronic? Like, all of them have been like this.
Stupid.
Oh, 1 card late. If only you knew how doomed you were.
And this is the thing, right? Ashman typically not the best in this matchup because the Death Knight is looking for those starships early, which means they're not in the deck by the time you play the Ashman. Gamer RBG did not have one of those draws, and yeah, now is gonna find himself in the position of having to defend against large starships.
It's very similar to the Control Warrior, Quest Warrior matchup, right? Where sometimes you just get a handful of starship pieces from the Ashman. Sometimes you get like Ziliax plus Dr. Boom package or something like that. But most of the time, you just get a handful of garbage removal that you don't want because it blows up your own board most of the time. Yeah, this is very much one of those scenarios.
just gaining 5, no draw. Off the vampiric board there. Yeah, well...
Let's play some Starship pieces, I guess.
Are there any undead to give poison? I don't think there are. So that will be just a dead card in hand.
I've definitely... No, it wasn't a game I played. I think it might have been a game on Lorinda's stream where Lorinda had a Poison Breath in hand for like 10 turns and then did manage at some point to get an undead to use it on. But I can't remember how that happened.
I mean, I suppose with the Soulbound Spire hit, there's the ability to have a 10 drop.
Oh, that might have been it, actually, yeah.
But, yeah, without the Spell Burst and with it being just one Soulbound Spire, you only get one roll. But Arcanite is the biggest minion, or the biggest Starship piece, right? If you're just trying to build up for a damage Exodar. Which, I mean, Gamer's having to just do his best with no information of what else has been hit, and could very easily just stumble into getting laser beamed.
Is it 16 or 20 currently? 4 or 5 crystals? Oh no, was there a spire as well? Was one of the pieces a spire, or have they all been crystals?
One is a Soulbound Spire.
Okay.
And then I think something like 4 crystals.
Yeah, 4 crystals, 1 spire then, I think, yeah.
But, I mean, this is interesting. Tansoku, if it's not lethal, Tansoku could just, you know, try and make some hand space here for pieces. Now he's got a lease if he manages to hit... Oh, is this it?
Fan of Knives
that clears so that all the lasers hit face. That may be enough.
Did we
weapons
miscount? I make it 18.
Exact lethal.
Oh, well, yeah, the 3 from the weapon. I wasn't counting the weapon. Damn.
little does Gamer know. I just had to laugh at it.
Yeah.
Little does he know. There was another one.
You lack critical information. You are twice as dead as you think you are. That's not even the end of it. It's a get up and leave, and he only has half the information about how unlucky
we saw getting double pieces.
Like, that is a brutal game 1. Just Rogue doing Rogue things, you know. There's a lot of historical precedent for people getting angry at losing to their own cards. It used to be Priest that caught all the flack. Now it's Rogue, you know. Things evolve. That's called growth. That's what we call that.
Nice headphones, bro.
Oh, yeah, the rogues have gotten even more value-oriented, and Priest has actually had some aggressive decks recently, so...
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because if you were going to cook up some magical aggro lineup, like, Protoss Priest would be one of the aggro decks that probably makes the cut in there, right? Like, Protoss Priest, Demon Hunter, Drunk Pally, something. Yeah, it sounds really bad the more I keep saying decks, yeah. Let's just leave that on the table for now. So, Rogue picked up the win. Warlock and Shaman, the Warrior has been banned. So, Nebula, Shaman, Quest, Warlock are the remaining decks for Tansoku. Gamer RVG, of course, has the full grip, apart from the Rogue that has been banned, which I guess is a reasonable question for you when you're saying, you know, you made the pick of Tansoku based on lineups. Were you thinking about this as like a ban Rogue kind of strategy when you were breaking it down, looking at the decks?
Well, certainly in this sort of typical 4, right, that... Tansoku is probably considering. Yeah, Rogue is the one where it's just like, well, this is even against everything. I don't really want even matchups. And of course, Gamer, you know, banning the Mech Warrior, which can have those just sort of unbeatable starts, right? As we saw the time it got to be played earlier. You know, is one of the better decks against Aulonia's Druid. I think I might be wrong, but it might also have a pretty solid matchup against the Quest Warlock. And I think that's a little bit of what Tansoku is sort of seeking to target here with his lineup. Excited to see the Nebula Shaman as well, because Hex is sort of an X factor. You know, when you are leaving up Death Knights, right? You
play Hex again.
Hex some of those Starship pieces at the right moment. You know, there's no triangulate.
Let's think of
so
having
it's
to
not
break
like
some
he can
Hearthstone.
go for the
Yo.
Who are you dressed as, Peter?
I'm Laura Bush.
And I'm the guy she killed.
That's right, I forgot. Laura Bush killed a guy.
Yes, she did. Laura Bush killed a guy.
Laura Bush killed a guy.
Brian, there's that girl from my yoga class I wanted you to meet.
Look, Lois, I appreciate it, but I'm not into fix-ups.
Oh, come on. You gotta get yourself back out there. Jane, this is Brian.
Oh, Brian! Lois has told me so much about you. Wow, you're even more handsome than she said.
Hey, thanks. So, that's a great costume. What are you, one of Freddy Krueger's victims?
I'm a victim of the liberal agenda. I'm a murdered fetus. Did you know that Democrats murder thousands of babies every year? And sometimes babies are put back into the womb just so that they can be aborted again?
Have you ever had any sex that was voluntary?
No, I have not.
Yeah, have a good evening. Come on, buddy, let's go.
Welcome to Fox News, Lois. We're very excited to have you.
Well, I'm excited to be here. Oh, this is my dog, Brian. He was just dying to see the studio.
Well, hi there, Brian.
How's it going, Adolf?
I'll have you know my grandparents died in the Holocaust. No, I'm just joking. They were there, though. And this is the kitchen. We've got all kinds of snacks and cold drinks in here.
I don't see the refrigerator.
Oh, we just use Ann Coulter.
There's never anything good in here.
And this is our Fox News Daycare Center.
Where are all the kids?
Sorry, a lot of the children aren't here today because their parents have the day off for Martin Luther King Day.
Isn't that in January?
Oh no, at Fox News we celebrate the day he was shot.
Hey, Chris, you mind if I sit here?
No, of course not. We were just having a political discussion.
Dumbass!
Sweet text from Grandma during the holidays? Are you alive, or are you the body they found on trail by Slumkirk and Sunbury Road? This week I have the pleasure of exhibiting the results from searching Twitter simply for Grandma text. From sweet innocent mistakes to deliberate trolling. How do you make tuna salad? What? Where buy tuna salad? Grandma, this isn't Google, this is texting. Yeah, mayonnaise. Try to get Grandma to come to the bar. Come to Fog Cutter, Grandma. Shades emoji. I'm already in bed with my titties nice and comfy and watching Maleficent. Have a great time and have a drink on me. Or two. I said tootsies, my feet, not titties. My grandma tried to text me for the first time. What? And you go to work sometime? Lol, first text ever from my grandma, and it's this. Starts chat. Secret BBC filming reveals how easy it is to buy heroin. Leaves chat. Grandma sent me this text earlier. Help! And I flew out of my room to see what the problem was, and she just wanted me to zip up a suitcase. Was not expecting this text from my grandma this morning. This is a hold-up! I want your eyelashes and your golden locks. Why my grandma text me like she just completed a heist? The job at bank is done. Why does my grandma text me like she's about to break up with me? Hey, why does this text from my grandma sound like one of those, like, man-thops trying to get his ex back texts?
And, I mean, I don't think you ever go for 3 of the quest reward.
Oh, it's fun again.
Two is good enough. So Tansoku will have sort of completion turn earlier than Gamer, and will have access to the double portal.
Probably, yeah. Although that's okay, so that tide pool pupil is one left, so that can't be completed with the snow flurry and still then get a quest inside. I don't know what the one on the right hand side is looking like.
Sure. And it's unlikely he would want to wait a turn to complete it with the second tick of his location.
Yeah, not in the mirror, almost certainly. Like, yeah, I think I said earlier, like in some slower matchups, you might delay one turn and no longer than one to try and get the double portal set up. But if it means your opponent just gets another free turn of smashing you in the face with 4/4 charges, then no, absolutely not.
Well, easy tosses with Summoner or Sketch Artist.
Ooh, my ass.
I think it gets kind of interesting sometimes later on if you sort of have to really pick and choose what you're throwing in the portal, but for now, plenty of good options.
Yep, those are the three options. Okay, we figured it out. Oh!
That is quite huge.
Well. The one on the right does have two left anyway. Okay. But yeah, that is enormous.
Yeah, no, here is where, like, okay, what does Gamer throw into the portal?
Possibly the unactivated Naga, right? Okay, it is going to be a Hellfire.
I thought about it for a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like it's the Hellfire instead.
Yeah, it might be ambitious. Like, I think that's the most aggressive line that you can take, but keep hold of double Hellfire and just try and push and win the game. But it doesn't. Yeah, your opponent does have a ton of cards in hand right now. They do have their own portal, and your turn, if you want to get a second portal in play, is a little bit slow. So maybe Gamer RBG feeling like he can't be that outright aggressive, and just sets out for a slightly longer game this way.
Yeah, and next turn he can toss in the temporary 1-drop.
Yep.
But yeah, you see how quickly the games turn once these portals are online. Wisp is a pretty good toss as well, so yeah, I think there is ability to go ahead for that second portal here.
So here's a question. When you're discovering a 1-drop with the intention of throwing it into the rift, do you deliberately pick the worst one just so it feels really satisfying to throw the terrible card?
It's original thought. Also, fact there's been a finger personality types,
or just
things
like
be
whatever
still
you
be
click faster.
efficient and could still things still
Lucky
be
dip.
like
You
preserved
just
enough
click the left one without
and be
looking
efficient
to see,
enough that was no problem, you know.
You know, maybe see a tap depending on if lifesteal is rolled again.
With zero mass production available.
Paste.
On a scale of 1 to ambitious, how ambitious is the first rift?
It's vegan though.
You know, if board space were no object, then yeah, I think go for it. But
it can work, right? Like, as if your opponent is also summoning minions all the time, which they are.
I had a good quote by Arnold Schwarzenegger yesterday.
And technically 4 fours can trade as well, although in this particular instance they don't, because your opponent has 3/5 taunts all of the time.
Yeah.
It is theoretically possible to make it work. I'm not advocating for the line. It is stupid. Don't do it.
Raspberry jam.
You can make the board space happen.
People also really love this, unless you're a vegan. Unless you're a vegan.
All this is like when I've played this deck on ladder, if you get the hand that plays 3 portals, you feel honor bound to just do it, you know, because when's the next time that's ever going to come up again?
Why am I eating again? I failed. I'm still gonna burn lots of calories, but you know, I'm just throwing calories away, you know.
Right?
It's a good question. I think certainly since the advent of locations and just other board space occupying things in general, that would make a big difference.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how
sure.
different necessarily like 2014, 2015 Hearthstone would be if you could play infinite minions.
Yeah, that sounds right. But with the introduction of Dormant and locations and starships and this portal, it's just a lot of stuff going on. Gonna depend a lot here on rolls, how much lifesteal, but I would probably long-term give the edge to Gamer with the double portal here. You know, you see Tansoku very aggressive there with that Conflagrate. I'm not sure if Conflagrate is in all the lists. I think maybe it is some kind of a nod to the mirror because it does kill those taunts so well, and that can be a way that you can, you know, push more readily.
But yeah, I think you are right. The lifesteals are going to be the most crucial thing here for Gamer RBG, because I think Tansoku recognizes his only real win condition here is just to try and be aggressive and shoot all that damage face. And again, that becomes a problem because of the double Hellfire discard earlier. But, you know, when you're rolling 4 minions every turn, it's a 1 in 3 to hit lifesteal. It's a very slim out for Tansoku, but I do think it's probably the best hope.
Blizzard is kind of interesting here, right? 2 portals, less good when your board is full, but just gonna throw it in the portal instead. Good hits there.
What a breakbook matchup, long.
Yeah. 9 corpses still, so plenty of opportunities to keep ripping corpsicles.
Yeah.
Still has 3 more minions in play.
Thank God for that.
To get back up to 6 for the following turn. So yeah, we are back again in the spot where Gamer RBG just needs to hope to be hitting lifesteal. He should. He's more than entitled to hit lifesteal every single turn.
It can happen though. I've definitely had stretches where I rolled charge taunt just every turn for like 4 turns, and you know, if you're forced to use your mass productions for refill and to be able to keep feeding the portals, but then you don't get the health back, you know, it does sort of shut off some of these options, like the Hellfire, like the tap, right? The fact that, well, you have to keep feeding the portals, so like, yes, you want the lifesteal to heal the damage your opponent is dealing with corpsicles, but you also need it so that you can keep having fuel. Okay, we got one.
Just taking a look at Tansoku's deck. Neither player really loaded up on mass productions this game, so they both have, you know, relatively pure decks, if you want to look at it that way.
Well, it seems like people have strayed away from using like Healthstone, right, to be able to go for like a late game. I'm gonna play half a dozen mass productions and then Healthstone it all back. Yeah, I mean, it does kind of seem like losing the 2 Hellfires may be a large part
it was just not a full experience.
You know, where this has gone wrong.
It was good, though.
Tansoku.
It's a really big factor, right? Like, it's so much extra damage in all of these spots that we've been seeing for the last couple of turns. Like, since Gamer RBG got the second portal set up, that's just been the spot over and over again of, like, Tansoku not quite being able to set up 2-turn lethal.
Alright,
because of these spots.
If there's no lifesteal rolled, again, you know, not a very high chance of that happening, but if it does.
Yeah. Gamer RBG does have to do some work to make max board space here, because there's a 3-5 and a 3-6 in play and nothing with more than 4 attack on the other side to make maximum space.
That's 1 miss.
Okay, that's 1.
It might end up being a Conflagrate on his own 3-5.
Yep. Kapow. And now all of a sudden, Tansoku just has to win 1. Oh, so close.
Yeah. And I mean, that was probably the window.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's begging you to do it.
Is there ever a world where Tansoku can just...
I believe as many pairs.
Get himself set up defensively enough that he's out of lethal and set up a 2-turn. I guess he needs... Well, he's actually not got enough corpses.
No, it has to be this turn.
I mean, as many pairs.
There are outs.
I reached like a limit. The top.
Very niche
can
ones that involve hitting like miracle sea breach
like too much potato power skill or something.
Okay, that helps because now Dreambound Raptor
can
give a 1-drop rush potentially. So if you roll rush plus charge off the portal, your rush goes into the 3-5. And then you hit rush off the rabbit to rush into the thing. Your charge goes space. Schools, is that enough mana?
Well, you definitely needed
Didn't end up.
Your own rush lifesteal.
Yep.
Yeah, I think just focusing on like putting as much stuff in play as possible to gain corpses. A little surprised he bothered with the Sea Breeze, because it's a fine thing at that point to throw in the portal next turn.
Mm-hmm. It's also a thing that can hit a 1 health reborn on a taunt if you really need your 4/4 charge to hit them in the face, you know?
Sure, that was not terribly likely on this present board.
But winning the game isn't terribly likely, so you need to hold on to things that are not necessarily terribly likely.
Right. You wouldn't have done it this turn, though, right?
No.
And there's another box.
So it doesn't matter.
Yep. Well, and the rush being the important bit here.
Yeah. I can recognize this play that's actually unlucky.
And that's going to square up the series. Tansoku tried his level best, showed the experience of the Hearthstone veteran that he is. I do like the way he definitely recognized
I'm watching a movie with such a beautiful girl lead. She reminds me so of you. Big, beautiful eyes and curvy lips like yours. Woke up this morning with a text from Grandma. Magic octopus. If you're into a porn, watch 50 Shades of Grey. I only watched a little. It's definitely an adult movie. I am Grandma. My grandma sent me a
Bruh. I'm gonna click on this actually. It's called yes, very good, sir. It's kind of painful. That was kind of obvious. Oh, 'cause it's on a wheel. And the distance it is away from the center is the same distance they'll travel there. That's useful sometimes. Oh, it's because of the angle. Can be a bit rough, the links are too large. Every kid wants an infinite amount of Lego boxes for Christmas. Eventually they have a lot, you know. If you didn't know when you were 12, was the last time we would enjoy playing with Legos. Or Bionicle.
With Bellhop, which is an undead, and Murloc Grofin, which is a Murloc, that if you can double those stats, you know, it is pretty significant. Is it an aggressive deck? No, but it creates a lot of stats.
By the standards we're working with, it's a pretty aggressive deck.
Yeah, and I think Tansoku was looking for Hex, right, for this matchup. I think ultimately, like, more than sort of specific targeting or polarization of, like, the lineup as a whole, I sort of feel like Tansoku's decks just have, as you say, sort of these nods to different things, right? Like, the Mech Warrior ends up being a good bring because probably you don't get to play it since it has these huge polarized matchups.
I really like text as well, but
you know, things like the Druid. That people just don't want to deal with that. And the Shaman, I think, is less polarized, but just having Hex against the DK, which, you know, DK stays up basically all the time, I think, you know, can give you that bit of an edge.
Yeah, I think was it you that was talking about this earlier about how you know, your stance differs when you're building a lineup versus what you play on ladder, just because the tournament field is so much more condensed. You're only really going to see the good decks. You also have like a ban available. So suddenly things that are, you know, very good on ladder might not necessarily be so good in a tournament. And I think that is a good description of Nebula Shaman, because I think one of Nebula Shaman's weaker matchups is just the rogue.
Yeah.
Which, you know, you're going to run into a lot unavoidably if you play on ladder. But if you come into a tournament like this, you can just say, I don't want to deal with rogues. I'm just going to ban them. And then suddenly, you've actually got a pretty good spread with Shaman, because your other bad matchups are very fringe things like Paladins and Hunters are the other bad matchups according to the stats for Nebula Shaman. So maybe this is actually just a low-key good bring from Tansoku.
Guess we'll see. Gamer did roll, actually took a 5-cost location, which is interesting, I guess, thinking needs that extra bit of value, and did roll summon a copy, which can be pretty substantial with if he's able to pick up a Soulbound Spire later on.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna see the Shutter Fire Rack?
I mean, I think we might have to see something very similar. This is an extremely clunky hand, and at least that now gives some semblance of a plan for Tansoku, because there's not a great deal else going on.
Tansoku is going to burn presently, right? Like,
yes.
With the amount of draw that he's used, and having something like Grofin and Shutterblock, which give you a mini, like it's just hard to actually free up the hand space.
Yeah, I think from the point he played Flight of the Phoenix and hit a card that replaces itself and an unplayable card, so the Grofin and Fyrak, I think from that point it was basically impossible not to burn a card unless you want to just throw away your coin, which of course you don't, because coin OP.
Ooh, that's unfortunate. That is, of course, you know, a nice one to have with Shutterblock. And yeah, this is the thing with the Shaman. We were talking about hand space management before. The Shaman is one of those weird decks where you end up in these situations where it's kind of just correct to accept that you will burn some cards because you need to save that coin.
Yep. Because, yeah, with a discounted battle cry, having access to 8 mana, not 7 on the following turn is going to be extremely important.
And, I mean, I wonder whether he goes for the triple Grofin and saves the coin, or if he just straight up uses the coin and the location for triple Ysera.
Sorry, did you come to this tournament to watch cowards, Edelweiss? Like, what are we talking about?
You think it's just Fire Rack immediately?
Of course!
No. You may as well get your 9 mana back first, right?
Yeah, it's got to be a Fire Rack turn, though, surely. You look extremely dead otherwise.
Double baking soda, right?
Really? Okay. This has perplexed me. I will be honest. And I'm slightly concerned that Tansoku did not seem to know what he was doing after the Ysera. He still seems to be working things out, which is a little strange to me. But okay, fine.
I mean, it is sort of fine, right? Jumping to 15 mana
is yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, the Frosty Decor is actually a massive wall that I was not considering, I'll be perfectly honest. And you do still have the mini available.
Triple Fire Rack,
Plus, this empties out a bunch of hand space for card draw if you are going to triple Fire Rack, which, I mean, irrelevant, because the triple Fire Rack just deals 36 and wins the game anyway. but if you're not a gamer, then I guess that is a factor as well. So, okay. I rescind, I step down, I hand the floor to Tansoku. This does actually make sense.
Now, does he play another baking soda volcano before the Fire Rack again, just to like free up more hand space? I don't know. mean, if you're going for... Oh, did we do Grofin instead?
Fine.
No.
Okay, no, thank
okay.
you. I was gonna say, I am back on this hill. I did not come to watch no cowards in this tournament. Come on now.
Okay, Fireball win phase.
Sure.
There's our clearing up so that everything else can go phase.
Sure.
That's
Things
another
have died.
6.
Oh, Tatsoku is not happy.
Flame Strike is a lot of mana wasted.
Flame Strike is an enormous amount of mana wasted, yeah. Oh, too much card draw. Too many Flame Strikes. Okay.
Yeah, the Wish burn is maybe what he was disappointed about. Story of Sulfuras is good.
Okay. I like how the Baking Volcano goes in one go against the immune minion. That's fun. I've never
Bro,
realized
it's not dead.
Okay. I mean, that dealt about 30 all in, right? 30 plus?
Yeah, I mean, against sort of a normal deck, that would do it most of the time.
Yep.
Debate.
So I think they were on, what? I think Gamer was on 53 plus another 4 armor from a crystal that had to die. So 57, 35 at a rough estimate, that did. That's a lot of damage. It feels like it's done nothing, because Gamer is still at 22, but oh my goodness, that's a lot of damage.
And surprisingly few cards burned, all things considered, right? There are times where that draws you... It eat the imps your whole board, and...
Yes.
You know, does the mage draw spells, and now suddenly you don't have a deck anymore. But barring burning Wish Upon a Star, I think that was
Wish upon
pretty solid.
A baguette.
Let's see if we can get a little handle on where we are after all of that chaos. So yeah, still a little bit of gas left in the deck. Still has the Elise, still has another Bellhop to play, still has the Ceaseless. So there is a lot of late game stuff still available to Tansoku, but yeah, the Wish is definitely a big loss.
And as you know, impressive as it is going immediately to 15 mana, using Shutterblock Charge on Ysera is, you know, not a ton of value, right? So I think while that Fire Rack did a lot of damage, there's a lot left that Tansoku has to try and do here, and it could have been, you know, like one more board of like a bunch of 8/8s that Gamer would have to clear or something like that. I am a little bit surprised by the Cabaret Headliner in the deck. I guess, you know, it can help you get out earlier Wish Upon a Star or Nebula.
Wish Upon a Baguette.
Yeah, I've seen it a little bit in the deck. I don't mind it because, again, as I alluded to at the start, having played a fair amount of Nebula Shaman when every card in your deck cost 1, like having to pay full cost for some of these cards does make me throw up in my mouth a little bit. So I don't mind the idea.
Oh yeah, and we burned a Nebula as well, so just one of those remaining. Ah yes, sorry, just what we need. Probably gonna be an Elise. I imagine Tansoku's plan at this point is to try and set up a high-value Elise location to use with the Alakir in his hand.
10/10 copy Alakir, yeah. You can try. The problem is the copy on the other side and the inevitable starship that's going to have to deal with.
Right. But both hexes remaining.
True. Yeah, very true, actually.
And no location destruction for Gamer, right? So you feel safer doing something like going for a 10 mana Elise location?
Especially when you have 16 mana and can actually play it immediately on the same turn, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, you're probably looking for like 10/10 copy, the Savage Roar thing, or Discover Spell.
Discover a spell, make it free, essentially, yeah. Pick up more Nebulas, more Wishes, that kind of thing, like playing for 0.
Gamer setting up that starship. Pretty full at this point. Although, has he gotten... I missed it, whether he's gotten a Soulbound Spire in there yet or not.
He has not, no. Both Spires are still in the deck.
So that is quite significant and may sort of have things slowed down just enough for Dansoku. You know, High Cultist for Soulbound Spire is pretty slow.
Oh,
oh
no!
Oops.
No!
I'm hearing chat doing a lot of deals.
A lot of deals.
Yes,
They just
guys,
want to see me suffer again.
we did a new incentive, 500 euros.
Det kan pröva. Wow. Yes, I'm allowed to click at that, especially for a few seconds. Don't lie.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Don't report and say a lie to get me in trouble.
Well,
Then report
actually
you
just
as well.
going for a defensive ship here, potentially from Gamer. Sure, get all the pieces back.
Take copies, do it again, yeah, makes sense.
Yep. You gain a bunch of armor, and because you're not summoning pieces, you don't mind using something like Sanguine to...
I mean, I've tried, I don't think I can take anymore. Time to stop watching Hearthstone and just play RuneScape. Or now I'm gonna stop streaming to YouTube.